So this lady asks, this black lady, are white women really that scared of black women? And I'm going to say yes. And this is my opinion as a white woman who is 53 years old and has lived in the South in Georgia in my entire life. But it's not being scared, but it's a fear. And it's not a physical fear, it is the mental fear. It is what we see in you and what we see you doing and how it challenges us and the fear of that. So we see black women and we see how strong you are. We see you coming together as a community. We see you supporting each other. We see you supporting your community, supporting your families, supporting your children, going out and fighting for your rights, being authentic in your race and in your femininity. Anyway. And we're jealous. I think we're jealous because we would love to be that, I think, and we don't know how to break out of the indoctrination that we have been suppressed by our entire lives. And I'm not giving white women a pass, don't get me wrong, but I know I, and most women, white women have been told our entire lives, be quiet, know your place, be a good girl, don't rock the boat, don't be too much. And when you are any of those things, you are ostracized because you have rocked their boat. And that is what black women are. You rock our boat, our mental boat, because you challenge us to look at how we are deficient and not living in our truth, and it makes us uncomfortable. And people don't like to be uncomfortable. And it makes us start to question ourselves, and people don't like to question themselves. We would rather live in our little bubble of white supremacy and what we know and comfortableness. I know that's not a word. Than a lot of people would, white women would, rather than challenge themselves to grow and know more, because it's easy. Doing the work is hard. It's really hard. I've been doing the work the past several years, and it's hard. It is hard admitting some truths about yourself and some truths about yourself as a white woman. So yeah, I think that white women are scared of black women because you challenge us in that way, and a lot of us don't like it. And that's why we fear you. It's because we fear what you make us face.
Dear black girls, the time has come. I have something on my chest, but I cannot hold it anymore. So I'm just gonna say it. I invite you. It's been years. I invite your genes. I can't believe most of you don't even get old. You guys don't age, or what's the problem in here? I don't see the majority of you fine lines under your eyes. What do you mean you're 35 and you look like 23? God has his favorites, and I saw it. What about the lips? What about those juicy lips, those nice lips, those lips that looks plump and is natural in the same time? What about the buttock? What about the fat, juicy buttock? You think that's fair? Do you think that's normal? What about that nice skin that when you apply a little bit of foundation, a little bit of makeup, you just get a glow? Yep, yep, yep. I have all the reasons to invite you. You see this lip combo over here? Yep, that's because of you. Because before you, I even hated gloss. I just couldn't see myself wearing gloss. Now this is my lip combo every day almost. And if you ever saw me with braids or any African hairstyle, it's because I loved it on you guys. It is not because I wanted to be black, it's because I actually wanted to slay in it as well. Why is it just you that you want to slay in it when I can slay in it as well? Overall, I think your genes are crazy good, and I invite you for that, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, but in a good way, you know. I wish I had all these things because There's a lot of things you guys have and I don't, and I spend money on it because I don't, right? Just in case you have any insecurity, I want you to know you're beautiful. And I find myself turning my head after you on the street. So hope this message got to you, and I hope you're gonna enjoy your day and remember you're beautiful.
Hello lovelies, welcome back to today's episode. Let's talk about this particular topic. You have seen how a lot of white women are coming out to reveal all this truth they've been held for decades. You've been hearing a lot of black women keep saying, why these people they hate us? Why these people they don't like us in their space? Why they always give us a fake smile? They hate us, we already know that, but they don't want to admit it. Now you have seen each and everything is because they are envy you, they have that jealousy, because they are saying you have each and everything. You are created in a way they never expected. You are carrying each and everything they need to have, but they can't have it. No wonder these days they are coming to say enough is enough. We've been keeping this secret for so long. It's time we started to say it the way it is. Guys, let me know what you think today's episode. Drop your opinion. Let's get to keep hearing them. Then you come back with more commentary.
I have a theory about why black women and white women are having such a hard time getting along, and it starts with a story. When I first started teaching, I was in a teacher training program with 3 other women. 2 of them were black and 1 of them was Indian, and we started teaching at the same school, the same grade, at the same time. One of these women, a black woman, completely excelled. She did so much better than I did at literally everything. Classroom management, her test scores were high. She was excellent at literally everything. And something about her excellence didn't sit right with me. I just didn't feel good about it, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't feel good about it. It was internalized racism, but I didn't know that yet. So I had to sit with this idea of her being better than me and trying to figure out why it didn't feel good and feel comfortable for me. And of course, at the time, I didn't know that I needed to do the work of anti-racism, so I didn't think it was possibly because I could have internalized racism. I had to do a lot of study and thought about myself and what could possibly be making me feel this way about this woman. And here's what I discovered. Most of the media that I had consumed up to that point in my life had white people as the central characters. And the shows and other media that I consumed that had white women at the central characters often had black women as the side characters. These black women's role in these movies was to assist the white women, support the white women, advise the white women, but never to rise above the white women. Even shows that were about black women, like The Help, had white women as the central character and the black women as supporting characters. So I internalized the idea that black women were there to support me and to advise me, but not to rise above or become better than me. And that's why when this black teacher was way better and more talented than me, I felt some kind of way about it. Now, I'd imagine lots and lots more white women have also internalized the same idea, and that's why they feel okay stealing black women's content and not giving them any credit, because the black women are just there to advise them anyway. But most black women are natural leaders. Society has forced them to become leaders. And so we need to step aside and let them lead, even if it means checking our privilege and letting them lead us.
The currency of whiteness is compliance, especially American westernized whiteness. The currency is compliance. And the reason that white women are so curious about you as a black woman in the South is because they are confronted with that fact, but they just don't know it. In their mind, when they see you, it triggers like this response of like non-compliance, like somebody's not complying. Like, what is she doing here? She's not supposed to be here. She's not complying with the order, and that threatens us. And I noticed this because I wasn't raised in the US, I was raised in Ukraine. We don't come face to face with racism a lot in Ukraine because there is no opportunity for it. It's pretty much like an all white country, right? So that's not to say that racism wouldn't exist if given the opportunity. As soon as it is, it happens. As soon as it's given an opportunity. Like in the beginning of the war, when people were pushing black people off of trains, like to get on. It'll very much crop up there if it's given the opportunity to. I'm not saying that it's not a problem. In Ukraine or other countries like it. People are racist, they just don't know it until they're actually confronted with having to deal with people of color. What I will say is because of that, because we don't have that dynamic of like slavery and segregation and like all of these things, that's why there's this common like sentiment in America about Slavic women that they're just built different, right? They may appear very feminine and like feminized or whatever, but you know, their husband is scared of them. They know that they actually control the entire dynamic kind of thing, right? Because you can only oppress women so much if there is no class below them, right? The only class that's below women in Ukraine are children. And we don't really have like a huge problem with homelessness or anything like that. There is not this multi-step hierarchy, right? There's only this power dynamic between men and women, but it's been balanced out pretty well, right? Like, yes, there are horrible Ukrainian men. I'm not denying that. Yes, some Ukrainian men are abusers and they use like religion and they use all sorts of things to abuse women. But on a large scale, what I grew up seeing was not skittish, abused women. I grew up seeing strong Slavic women because when there's nothing else to threaten women with other than like, oh, you're not going to get married or have a man or whatever, then you don't hold that much power as a man, especially in the courting stage, like in the dating stage. Like Slavic men are on their best behavior, and there's just as much stigma for divorce for men as there is for women. The dynamics are just a little different. They're a little bit more balanced out, I would say, between men and women. Now, where America differs is that because it's such a melting pot and like all of this, the hierarchy is just turned up to 11. I mean, white women are so obsessed with compliance and they're so obsessed with keeping their place in this hierarchy because there are levels that they don't want to be brought down to, right? One of those levels being you're going to be treated like a black woman. By that I mean you're going to be hypersexualized, you're going to be treated as a second-class citizen, you're going to be made up a bunch of narratives about, and you're going to be considered like unfeminine, unruly, and whatever, etc., etc. There's like so many layers to this, right? So the reason that they're curious or that they're threatened, and I mean curious is a very gentle word to use. Like I would say that they are threatened. They're threatened because they feel like you're taking over. In the video that this comment was left on, this is what I talked about, right? White women in the American patriarchy are especially dangerous to black women because they are okay with the structure of the patriarchy because they gave up a lot to belong to it. And by that I mean they gave up their personalities, right? This is why they have plastic smiles and no joy in their eyes, because it's all about compliance. It's not about having your own personality. It's not about having your own goals, hopes, dreams. It's about compliance. The same thing that I noticed about women in America too. As a Ukrainian woman, like I was not so used to women just like hiding their joy, their surprise, their anger, especially. Like white women really hide their anger because that belongs to men. In this racially charged patriarchy, anger belongs to men, but also like black people are very demonized for their anger, especially black women, right? It's angry black woman stereotype. So white women can't be that, right? If they want to keep their place in the hierarchy, which they have already worked really hard to get there and to keep, they don't want you coming along into their country club and being prettier than them, being wealthy on your own, like because they had to give all that up. They had to give all that up. And that's why they're threatened by you. And the reason that they hover around you is because that's the only compliant way for them to make you feel unwelcome. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Jordan Peele captured this really well in Get Out when he had the black people acting like white people, and it was so uncanny. That's because there is that difference. Especially in the case of Georgina, that's exactly what a white woman would look like in a black woman's body. It would be very uncanny. And the way that Georgina asserted her power was by always hovering around and being in people's business. And that's what white women do. Like, that's the most threatening that a white woman can get, is to just, you know, be there, just hovering and getting in your business. That's why there's the same like stereotype about, you know, youth pastors' wives and like pastors' wives in general, is that they just have this very disconcerting presence where with a smile on their face, they will look you dead in the eyes and say the most fucked up misogynistic shit so that they can continue propping up the patriarchy. Right? And it's just creepy. It's creepy how they act, because it's like, why are you saying all this with a smile on your face? Because of compliance. Because the compliance part of the white woman handbook says that you have to be pretty, smiling, quiet, not cause trouble, never get in the way of the men. And the most important thing you can do is to support the patriarchy and to make sure that the men have a clear path forward, because you're next in line. You're next in line. But it's like the men are never going to move out of your way, babe. They're never going to move out of your way. But white women still, like, they have this very particular relationship, especially white women in America. They have this very particular relationship to white men, to men in general, right? Which is why White Woman Whisperer got all this hate for pointing stuff out, and she got like demonetized, like her videos were getting reported. The white women were very vicious, but very quietly, you know, very quietly, in that very compliant way. And yet when a black man went on his platform and used his platform to speak up for white woman whisperer and to call white women out, the white women in his comments were very nice. They were very like, yes, like well said, you know, they were feeling very called out. They were not reporting his videos. It's this very interesting relationship that white women have with the patriarchy, because they feel like they're so close to the top that it makes sense for them to keep maintaining these kinds of statuses and behaviors. And I noticed this like right away about, you know, Western white women, is that they stifle themselves a lot. They control themselves a lot. Again, this was very well exemplified in Get Out, when the main white woman character, like everything about her is just putting on an act so that what she can actually be is this very controlled, very meticulous, very collected psychopath. You know, like when she's just eating like a single Fruit Loop and drinking one single sip from the straw, like that's all intentional. Like the fact that she has all of these like keepsakes of the previous boyfriends that she has lured over into this whole scheme, because she is not actually what she pretends to be. She pretends to be a real person with real feelings and pretends to like fit into the male gaze, and she fakes sympathy and she fakes empathy and she even can fake anger and all this stuff. But in reality, she's very self-controlled. She's very meticulous. She's very like determined. Like she has a goal. She has an end goal in mind, and she's already planning out her next venture. And I noticed this a lot. Like this was actually really shocking to me, because like in Ukraine, like if a bitch doesn't like you, she doesn't like you. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of pretending. Like everything is kind of out in the open. Like in America, it's like these white women will be so nice to your face. They will pretend like they want the best for you. They will pretend like they have empathy and sympathy and that they totally understand what you're going through, to turn around and literally stab you in the back and exercise their power over you. When my parents came here to America, they very specifically wanted to attend like an English speaking church so they could learn English faster. And so we went to this very conservative, like little church, and it was just full of like the WASP demographic, and it was very creepy and uncanny trying to interact with these people like as a normal person. You never know what they're thinking. You never know what's behind their eyes. You never know what's behind their smiles. They'll like nod and agree as though they really hear you and like understand what you're saying. But really, it's not that. They're just complying. They're just controlling themselves from saying what they really feel. And you could tell they didn't know what to do with us, because we were like by all means white, but they still saw us as below them. They still saw us as immigrants, and they would talk to us, you know, really slow. Even though my parents would respond back in normal speed and everything like that, they just couldn't help but treat us like second-class citizens. It was very unsettling, very uncanny. No matter what, in America, you are going to take your spot, you take your place in the hierarchy. Even if you refuse, other people will do it for you. They will place you where you belong. And in my opinion, at the end of the day, this all stems from the fact that whiteness is actually like a lack of things. Whiteness is more about what you're not and less about what you are. This is why white people have no culture, because culture is a thing that can be used to degrade people and to make them feel like they're less than. And that's why white people are like, oh, no, none of that. We don't do any of that. You know, the culture is very prim, proper, polite, and it's more based around what you don't do rather than what it is you do. And the things that you do are very performative and only exist to perpetuate a certain hierarchy. Really freaky observing it as a foreigner. Like, even though I know that, again, I'm white, I definitely like benefit from the system. And I'm definitely also not saying that Ukrainians would be better than any other white people if they were confronted with the real life implications of what American people have been presented with. But that's really the problem. I hope I was able to articulate any of this in a way that makes sense, but these are just my thoughts on that. And please stay safe out there, because women like that are just waiting for a chance to like take you down. I love you so much. Godspeed.
Okay, I told my friend this story the day that it happened, and I meant to share with the internet because it was honestly bizarre to me. Bizarre. So I'm in the bathroom, minding my business. The woman leaves the sink running for me to wash my hands. I'm like, oh, thank you. And she like dries her hand, and then I notice she's still kind of like standing there looking at me. And then she's like, I love your hair. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And then the questions started. And I think a part of it is my personality. People like to talk to me, and I love it. I think it's a cool trait. And I like to talk to people too, for the most part. But then she just started like bombing me with questions like, so, is it permanent? She asked me, is it my hair? And I'm just like, yeah, it's mine. Like, this is my face. Like, like just these questions that, first of all, like, you're a stranger, and it's just like I'm in the bathroom at 2 p.m. minding my business. But anywho, she asked me all these questions. I had to dodge like 2 times from her like touching my head. I was like, oh, don't do that. Like, I'm nice. You're lucky I'm nice. But yeah, I had to dodge her from touching my head. And then the real kicker, after she gave me so many compliments about how pretty it was, and I said, yeah, like I call them hippie locks because, and she said, yeah, I just love yours so much. When I see other dreadlocks, though, I don't like them. They're yucky. Bitch. That was in my head, like, bitch. And it's so bizarre because it's like, watch your mouth, watch your mouth, because I have my hair styled like this because of multiple women with traditional, no, I say traditional, I'm like using air quotes. I don't want to even use her words, but with the locks that you find disturbing or you don't like to look at because it doesn't comply with your white standard of straight hair, those women are the reason why I have my hair like this. And actually another reason I have my hair like this is because I specifically got my hair done like this the year when it was ruled okay to discriminate based on having locks. So this is part of my act of resistance de.
When in nowadays we keep coming out to talk about Black history, this is the results. These people has knew very well our true identity, our origin, our history, each and everything, but they kept that secret. They tried their best level so that we never know anything about us, anything about our originality, anything about the power of our genes. Now see, when you see some white women, some white people came out to express their feelings, the way they feel about Black people, this is something people need to be proud of. I have seen some Black people trying to say, no, 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 these people, they hate us, they have racism on us. I'm planning to change the skin of my color. Maybe I try to look like them. No. Don't try anything like that. You need to be proud of the way you are, because the way God came out to create a human being, He didn't fake anything. The way you are is the way you are. No wonder you are seeing some white people, they can't stand for it, because I don't understand. Why would you feel envy of someone the way God created them, and they never had any part in that journey of creation? They never knew anything about it. They just see themselves on earth just like that. But you, because you grew up in that society teaching you, these people, you need to hate them. You need not to associate with them in any way possible. You need to give them a fake smile. Now you see, after realize yourself, you started to see, but these people, they are natural people. They carry power. They are supernatural. These melanated people, they have power in them, which are from God. You are saying Black women, Black people, they have that natural wisdom, they have knowledge. Last time we came out to talk about some videos which got trend on TikTok. Some white women came out to say, please, please, Black people, we are starting to learn a lot from you. Those white women came out to say, they went on Black TikTok, they started to learn how to bath, their routine, how to apply the oil on their skin, how to use a cloth, a washing cloth to bath. They never knew something like that. How to scrub their foods so that they will look very well. They came out to say thank you. We never knew something like this. No wonder we kept seeing your skin glow. You are looking like baby skin, you are looking attractive, you have good lips, you have good hair, you are changing your hair each and every day. We kept this secret looking you in a far distance, but we still have that jealousy. How come these people, they are like this? You are very talented. You have heard this white teacher in that school. She been working with these Black women. She was the best in that school. For her to know that she has that racism, why am I always think about my colleague having more success than me? I think I'm racist because I don't have anything to go against her. Instead, I need to approach her to learn more from her, because these Black women, they carry a lot. They carry a lot of wisdom from God. These This is the people you should not always coming out to pray with. This is the people we should always approach whenever we need the advice. Now you see, when I see some white people coming out to say something like this, it's something which is really encouraging. Maybe it will keep spread in their society, in their community. Maybe they will keep teach their community so that they will keep learning more about the black people instead of keeping spread that hatred. That sometimes when you see this high level of hatred, racism from generation to generation, I think sometimes when you try to look in the mirror, all was because some people have that misinformation about them, about the other race, because you can't tell, you grew up teaching you it's not necessary to bath each and every day. Now imagine you are bathing once a week because your society told you there is no need to bath. You are damaging your skin. And yet, you are rounding in the society, you are going to work each and every day smelly. Imagine. But nowadays, because of internet, you are seeing now people are starting to share wisdom. People are starting to share here and there. No wonder you are seeing black people, they keep asking this same question. We don't like to go in white people's space like on internet, TikTok, Instagram, but we are surprised they always check on us. They always on our account. Why these people they can't rest? Why they are so obsessed with us? You don't like someone, but yet you can't live without them. You are always on them, checking what are they doing. Now you see, sometimes when you try to see, in a workplace, for example, you work with some white women, some white people. They'll try to minimize you each and every time, show you that you are nothing. Please, it doesn't mean you are nothing. If someone will sit there, envy your blades because you can change your hair even 8 times a week. But this time around, now they are starting to coming out to let us know. This is something we grew up in our society asking why. Why we always see white people fight black people here and there, they fight them here and there, they try to show them that they are superior, they try to show them that they are nothing. Now you see. You see, no wonder we kept saying that racism is expensive. Those people who've been hate black people, now they are running to bath. Now they are running to bath from them. They are running to use washcloth from them. They are learning how to apply oil in their skin, and they come back later to thank black people. Now you see, we wish a lot of people would learn from this. We wish a lot of people would keep coming out to learn from this. Guys, let me know what you think today's episode. Do you think this envy is going to end? Do you think there is something black people would do for them so that they could rest? See you in my next episode.